Hi guys and ladies, welcome back to another exciting episode. My name is Disama Matsietsi and you are now listening to episode number 15. This is episode number 15 of the Being an Analyst podcast. And today we are talking about business informatics, and we're going to be discussing when do you use business informatics. If you've been wondering what is business informatics and what's the difference between just the normal reporting line and business informatics, you'll find this episode quite informative. We're going to be looking at 7 things that are going to give you overview of what business informatics covers, so that you know immediately what to propose for your own department or for your own business. All of that is coming through after our theme song. We have seen many people opening up departments or opening up teams that are actually looking at management information systems. They come there, they look at the reporting, they create nice, beautiful reports, and some of them are even talking about tools such as Power BI, Tableau, you name them, Lupa, Zupa, Hookah, you name them. I have listed all of them in chapter 9 of the Being an Analyst book if you have them. And you will see all of these tools wars. But what I want us to do on this episode is actually take a step back, just to have a bird's eye view, to say before we start talking about tools, before we start talking about roles and positions and who's supposed to be doing what, what's the point of all of that? What is the point of us having to use insights? Are we just getting insights because we have a lot of data? We need somebody else to sort it out, which probably could just be management information system. Just group the data for me to say, I want data that talks to marketing, group it under marketing, that talks to sales, group it under sales, that talks to business development, group it under business development. That MIS could do. Or sometimes you can say, oh, hang on a second, I actually want a story. I want you to tell me data so that you tell me where is it coming from, what's the house, who are our customers. Then we start with storytelling. Or is it because we want something else? We want the tools to be made out of data. So we get data and we create a tool that you can use and hammer everything that you see, because you just created a hammer. So that's the tool that you want to do. But for now, we're going to be talking about 7 things that will give you an overview of this thing called business informatics, because business informatics actually goes into the organization. Business informatics supports decision making by interacting, a few things, so that the business can actually, come to a decision making process. So in that case, it interacts, it combines or intersects IT, it intersects informatics, and in informatics methods, not just informatics, but the methodology that you follow, and also some of the management concepts. This is where strategy, finance, and all of them are coming through. All of that together with the business problem, and then it comes back and it create a solution for you. So we're going to be looking at 7 things. Number 1 that we're going to be looking at is what's the role of information technology in making business informatics. So IT refers to the use of computer systems, just in case you didn't know what IT is. Computer systems, networks, softwares, other technologies that you have, in your store, that you can get, stuff that you process to transmit data or to retrieve information. All of that is information technology. As long as you have devices that are connected to either store, process, or transmit, or even retrieve information. For our simple explanation, let's just call that information technology. In the context of business informatics, IT plays a crucial role in us providing the necessary tools and infrastructure for managing and analyzing business data. So we're just starting with, if you think about it as Lego pieces, we throw the Lego pieces there. We make sure that IT is able to recognize the Lego pieces. We store them. We are able to process them, meaning that we can move them around, meaning that we are able to transmit them. We can pick them up from the bedroom to the the dining table so that we can work there, or into the boardroom, and we are able to retrieve them to say when we are done with that, we can take it back to the bedroom, or we can get it back if we understand that. Number two is informatics methods. So informatics methods is actually a science of information, and informatics methods involves systematic study of information and its processing. So informatics methodology or informatics methods is not just a tool, it is some science that you apply on information so that you can be able to get, process information in a certain way. In the context of business informatics, this includes methods of collecting, organizing, analyzing, and interpreting data to extract meaningful insights that can inform business decision. So we're going to be using this methodology or this methods, but the end result is we need to get insights out of it. So you'll see most of the time we would use the methodology that requires um, data science for us to extract information that's coming from there. So when you ask yourself is, did we solve the issue using data science or business informatics? The answer is both. We use data science methodology, but at the bigger side of it, we looked at business informatics to actually come up with the necessary tool. Business informatics, that's the one that says, oh, to solve this issue, we're going to actually need a data scientist to help us. Oh, to solve this issue, we need a BI analyst to solve the problem. So number three, we're looking at management concepts. You would have just seen, as I was talking about IT and informatics methods, that how are you making the decision? So this is where management concepts come in business informatics. It's not just about technology, it also involves understanding and applying management principles. This is where it's the time that you spend in business schools come into fruition, and you start to see the impact of why did you spend so much time in business schools. Because you take all of those business things, whether it's the three pillars of making a business, it's either sales and marketing, it's operations, or it's finance. So if you understand all of those pillars, you can be able to take data and then spread it through like water. You just water, either you water your sales and marketing, or you water your operations, or you water your finance operations. All of this that you have up here, which is the rain that's going to be watering all of these three pillars, that's business informatics that you're looking at. So the management concepts, you really, really need to understand all of that that talks to any of the pillars. It includes concept related to organizational structure, strategy, resource allocation, and decision making processes within that business that you are dealing with. So if you are dealing with an insurance business, you need to understand insurance itself. So business informatics, you'll just realize that because you need to understand management concepts, it actually needs you to take a little bit of a step away from the day-to-day doing of things to now going to a place where you're like, oh, hang on a second. How does the business that's in insurance, how does it actually react in such situations? Okay. Number four, we're looking at decision making. Now we're getting closer to what we want to get to. Number four is decision making. One of the primary goals of business informatics is not just to sit there and look pretty and say we have head of business informatics. No, it's to support decision making process within the organization. This involves the using of either technology or informatics methods to provide relevant and timely information to decision makers, helping them to make informed choices and can positively impact organizational performance. If we cannot get information timelessly and we cannot get live dashboards, then there will be a failure in business informatics. Why? Because when we needed to make a decision about should we open a new branch or should we acquire a new store, whenever we needed to make that decision, there wasn't enough data present at that particular moment. So there will be a huge failure in business informatics in that case. So the whole point is just for it, not for it to sit pretty, it's for us to use IT and then use whatever method, informatics method. That's what I'm using here. And the simplest one that I could think about is the data science one. To say we're going to use the informatics method or predictive analytics or financial analytics, whatever you want to call it. You're going to be using informatics methodology or informatics methods to actually, through computers, to actually help with decision making. So the two will come together and then help you with decision making. I think that that's actually quite clear. If it's not clear, just, let me know. We can always expand on this. Number 5, we're looking at identification of business problems. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're talking about hyping yourself up, tools to the decision making. Number 5 is coming back to say, how do we identify business problems? Do you just sit at the reception and then you wait there for business problems? If that's the question, then maybe this will answer it. But business informatics involves identifying challenges and issues within the business environment. This could include problems related to inefficient processes, data management issues, or gaps in information flow. So we're not just taking problems of, a client says it smells like perfume in the store and they're throwing everything around the world. So because we're talking about business informatics, we're looking at inefficient processes. Those will be a problem for business informatics. If there's inefficient processes, we're going to be calling in the business analysts and the process engineers to come help us out here, and the organizational architects to say, hey, hang on a second, what did you have in mind to create this thing? And then when you're looking at data management issues, it's very clear that for us to make a decision, we're going to need some data. Data is not stored properly, we're going to have a big issue. So data management issues or gaps in information flow, which might be on the data is already there. The data team already done the analysis 50 years ago. This project was paid for and it was approved, but the information is not there in the exco room when they need to make the decision. So that will be information flow. So when you have those problems, business informatics is how you solve those problems. Just in that context. Through the application of informatics methods, these problems can be analyzed and understood. You just not analyze them, you analyze the problem and you make sure that it's understood and you make sure that it's done properly, the way that it should be done. If it's not done properly, we go back to the drawing board and we're like, hang on a second, what did we do here? Can we get a better process? Number 6, we're looking at the development of relevant solutions. So we're just not coming up with identifying problems, but we are looking at developing solutions that are quite relevant. So in this case, once a business problem is identified, business informatics will aim to develop practical and effective solutions. This may involve implementing new technologies, optimizing existing processes, or introducing changes in management practices to address the identified issue. Just now, when we're talking about, you already have the solution that's sitting with the data team or the data science team or the Power BI or the business intelligence team or whatever team that you got a data issue, it's already been solved for. The issue here is information is not going to the other side. So for us finding a solution, we might have to be changing a few business processes to make sure that, oh, hang on a second, can you give all our exco access to that report, but can you group that report into the operational pack? Currently, the operational pack is being sent out from Excel. Can we integrate your Power BI report into PowerPoint so that when Xcode reads the PowerPoint presentation, they can see everything. Earlier I said Excel, apologies. They might be reading, the Opcom operations pack from PowerPoint. You just integrate the live dashboards from Tableau, from Power BI, from Looker, you name it. You integrate them into PowerPoint. And when it gets presented, if they have questions, you can have dynamic commentary, they can interact with the dashboard during presentation. When they ask questions, you can click, 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 click. You can see that immediately. Then you can take it forward. That's just looking at it. That this may involve implementing new technologies, optimizing existing processes, or introducing changes in management practices to address the identified issues, which is what I just spoke about. The fact that you're introducing all of this things to say, hang on a second, your PowerPoint presentation are no longer going to be static. Going forward, they're going to be a little bit more dynamic. That is the changing process that you are bringing. And that is why it needs to be in business informatics. You need business informatics to actually help you with that. So it's more like a consulting role if you're looking at it. So appreciation of impact. I'm sure you, from this side, you would think about yourself, hey, hang on a second, looks like business informatics is fighting with a lot of departments or a lot of teams. But no, actually, it's actually a standalone. We're not, if you come in and you're doing business informatics, you're not fighting with sales, you're not fighting with data, you're not fighting with IT teams, you're not fighting with nobody. All you are doing is you emphasizing the understanding. Business informatics emphasizes understanding the consequences and impact of decisions and solution on overall business. So just the emphasis is just on what consequences are going to come if we don't solve this issue, whether it's the process flow, information flow, and what's the impact that's going to hit us, and so that you can make the right decisions based on that, on your lack of decision, so that the overall business can look very, very good. This also involves the assessing of how changes in technology, processes, and management strategies will affect different aspects of the organization, such as efficiency, productivity, and profitability. Lately, I've been talking a lot to a lot of people about the impact of 4IR. This is where I'm coming in from a business informatics point of view to say, hang on a second, when you implement 4IR, fourth industrial revolution, technologies like robotics, you name them, data science, predictive analytics, you name them, how will that impact your current business processes? And how will that impact your decision making? Will you now make decisions faster or not? And how will you integrate that into your current processes? So you're looking at the whole point of it is you want efficiency, you want productivity, and at the end of the day, you want profitability. If it's coming back with efficiency talks about your operations leg, your productivity talks about your sales and marketing leg, and your profitability talks about your finance leg. So all of this we're watering here. This is a big cloud that comes in, waters sales and marketing, it waters operations, and it waters finance, with both product efficiency, productivity, and profitability. Once you do those three things, then you are in good business. So business informatics is the interdisciplinary field that combines IT, informatics methods, management concept to enhance decision making and processes in business. So without IT, informatics methods, and business concepts, those three becomes very, very difficult to actually have a well-functioning business informatics team of business informatics function, because you can still do it alone depending on the size of the company. So you don't necessarily have to have a team, but it becomes very difficult to do a business informatics function. So this is why we always look out and we're looking for not just consultants, but we're looking for people that actually understand business informatics, and they can help our businesses become much better in helping with efficiency, profitability, and profitability and productivity. Once you get that solved with business information system, business informatics, then we are all in good stead. So I hope this podcast helped you answer the question, what is business informatics? I'm sure you already had that. I try to reiterate many times, when do you use or when do you need business informatics throughout the whole episode.